أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم بقية الله خير لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد, Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your ibadat and your fast in this month of Ramadan. Now, as we are looking at some of the other amal of the month of Ramadan and how one should really focus on these amal on the basis of the text of Malik Jawad Aghay Tabrizi, who was the Ustad of Imam Khomeini, and how he is crystallizing these amal to us, how he is unveiling and opening, unwrapping, so that when we do and perform this amal, it should be pure, sincere, and it should be heavy. Different nokat. He's pointing out to different points that are there. Now, we talked about iftar, and then he talks about suhoor, how to do suhoor, how one should do really the morning sahri. What are the adab of sahri? As we know, first of all, sahri itself is mustahab. Leaving aside what we do, what we eat, what we not eat, sahri is very mustahab. To be awake, whether that be the month of Ramadan or not the month of Ramadan, to be awake in the morning, sahri time, is highly recommended. As we said that earlier, when we are talking about du'as and the acceptance of du'as, there are certain times which are special, and sahri, suhoor, is one of that time that is acceptance of dua. Malik Jawad Aghay Tabrizi says that there are du'as, askar, so on and so forth. Surah Qadr, sawabish farawan, is a lot of reward for a person who recites Surah Qadr. And he brings this riwayat and he says, har mu'mini roze bedarat behangam suhur و افطار انا انزلنا بخونت در فاصله افطار و سحور چون مجاهدی است که در خون خیش می غلطد. A person, a mu'min who recites Surah Qadr at the time of Sahri and at the time of Iftar, in between this time he is a person, or he is like a mujahid who is rolling in his own blood. Look at the sawab. I told you before, on the Day of Judgment, when mujahideen, when these people who have died in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while fighting along the Prophet in the battle of Uhud, in the battle of Badr, in the battle of Ahzab, all of these battles of the Prophet, they were mujahideen. They were who fought along with the Prophet in that period. Ammar, Abu Maysam, Abu Zar, these people who were there, who did jihad fi sabilillah at the time, they will be given special rewards. The mujahideen will be given special rewards. Those people who freed slaves during the time that when they could buy the slaves and free the slaves, they will be given special reward, because every reward has a special coating, has a special covering, has a special mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if someone on the Day of Judgment get the reward of a mujahid who is rolling in his blood, right, from the time of Sahri till the time of Iftar, that long period, that reward is given to a person who recites Surah Inna Anzalna at the time of Sahri and at the time of Iftar. During this era, a person will get that reward. A person who give iftar will get the reward of freeing slaves. So the door is open. The door is open for us. Do we want that thawab or we don't want that thawab? If we want that thawab, we could do this and get that thawab. Look how merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is towards us. Because we are far, we cannot see the Prophet. These mujahideen, these people, they saw the Prophet, they were with the Prophet, and they performed that act. But we are not seeing the Prophet, we are far away from the Prophet. Prophet is no longer in this world, but still we believe in the Prophet and we are acting what the Prophet have taught us. So Allah says, as you have not seen the Prophet with your eyes, but you believe in unseen, I will give you this reward. Right? So this is what we get the reward, right? Then here, at the time of Sahar, it is mustahab, obviously, shari as well, for every day. We do the niyat of the whole month of Ramadan that we are fasting, and also we are supposed to do the niyat of that day of fast, that I am doing sahri, that I am doing fasting of that day as an ibadat, as a command of yours, I am doing it. And then in the evening, when he visits that fast, he will think, in the subh, in the morning, I did ibadat, I entered this, and in the evening I stopped eating, in the evening I start eating for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is mustahab. Allama Tabatabai, I had mentioned this earlier, have a very beautiful thing that he has mentioned in regards to dua sahar. I think I have mentioned it here, but I will mention it again for some of our viewers who have not seen this. Allama Tabatabai says to Aghai Hassan Zadeh Amali that Mah Mubarak Ramadan, ta subh he was awake, till sahri he was awake, and he was very muqayyad of dua sahar of Imam Baqir alayhi salam. And he would tell to his students that when the students will come in the company, in the presence of Allama Tabatabai, he would say, Agha, dua sahar Hazrat Imam Baqir alayhi salam ra faramush makun, ke dar an jamal wa jalal wa azamat wa nur wa rahmat wa ilm wa sharafat hast. In this dua there is jalal and jamal, there is azmat and nur, there is rahmat and ilm and sharaf in this dua of sahar, right? Wa harfi az hur wa ghulaman nist. In this dua there is no Allahumma zawwijna hur al-ain or albisna bisundus and so on and so forth, manno salwa, this food, that food, Jannah, hur al-ain. It's not in here. Agar behisht shirin hast, he says, if the Jannah behisht, if Jannah is shirin, behisht afarin shirin tarast. But the behisht of the one who made this is much more sweeter than that. And dua sahar is that. In dua sahar is behisht afarin. So it is quite important. Allama, is amazing that he says, Ruzesh ra babuse be dhariye muqaddas Hazrat Masume Salamullah alayhi aftar mikard. Allama Tabatabai will break his fast by kissing the dhari of Hazrat Masuma. He will go at the time of iftar to the haram of Hazrat Masuma, and he will break his fast by kissing the zari of Hazrat Masuma Salamullah alayha. پیاده به حرم مشرف می شد و ذریع مقدسه را می بوسید، سپس به خانه برمیگشت. And then he will return home و غذا می خورد. شبهای ماه مبارک در جاهایی که مجالس روده بود شرکت می کرد و گاهی با تمام وجود گریه می کرد به طوری که بدنش می لرزید. Wherever there was majalis rode of Imam Hussein, of Musibat, of Imam Ali, he would attend and he will cry in a way that his body will shake. He will cry that much. Allama Tabatabai. A scholar, a philosopher, an exegist who is into ilm and knowledge, he will break his fast by kissing the zari of Hazrat Masuma Salamullah alayhi. This is how they were. So at the time of Sahri, Malik Jawad Agha Tabrizi mentions that one should recite Inna Anzalna, one should do the intention, one should be awake at Sahri, do du'as at Sahri. Now, another thing that we should ask for is dua baraye tawfiq dark shab qadr wa shab eid. Malik Jawad Agha Tabrizi says that it is important to really ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yesterday I mentioned you why Maulana is talking about Shab Qadr from now on. We should ask every day in our du'as that, oh Allah, let me do the dark, understand the Shab Qadr. We should ask, oh Allah, make the Shab Qadr so that I know what is Shab Qadr, so that I see the reality of Shab Qadr. We should really ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that from the beginning of the month. And like I said, that some of the awliya, they ask for the whole year. They recite Inna Anzalna Qadr every day, and they ask for the dark of Shab Qadr. What is this night of Qadr? And that is how one really should really make his sahri, his iftar, his day. Asking of Shab Qadr, and also the night of Eid. As Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says that in Shab Qadr kam tarnis, the night of Eid is a night which is no less than Shab Qadr. It is a very important night. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam mentions that. So now these are certain other amal which Malik Jawad Agha Tabrizi mentions it in regards to the month of Ramadan. Then going to an iftar and giving iftar is also important, which we talked about. Then imamat and wa'iz, leading, going, for those who have the possibility, capability, or those who are in the house, do a namaz jamaat. As a father, lead the prayers, do the imamat, speaking, giving advice, talking about Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, right? Talking about God, commentary, what we see and what we find, and also attending these majalis, right? Attending these majalis as well. There's a program in the masjid, we should make sure that we go to these programs. There's speech, we should make sure that we go to this speech, attend this speech, do Jamaat prayer, recite Dua Iftata. It is these things, these activities are very important, and one should really perform these things. Ulama akhlaq have talked about these things in different ways, and as a matter of fact, when a person goes to the masjid, maybe the person next to me, Allah have special mercy, the mercy will come on him, and it will take to the others as well. I know my sin, but I don't know my brother's sin, what he has committed. So therefore, I go to that place, I get the barakah from him or her, right? Children are there, Allah sends special blessings and barakah for them. I achieve that. So gatherings are very important. Attending these majalises are very important. Leading, giving a talk, advising people in this special month is very important as well. Then Malik Jawad Agha Tabrizi gets into the Shab Qadr. As we also are not with you for all 30 nights, we were with you for 15 nights. So therefore, I would kind of focus a bit upon the days that are left on the nights of Qadr. It's very important to have a preparation for this night, because it is the most important night. Imagine, it is a night which is khayrun min alf shahr. Would you like to waste that? A night and the ibadat of that night and what you will achieve that night is better than 80 years of your ibadat, just one night ibadat. Will you be willing to let go that night? So what is required is you have to prepare it. It's like a big auction. Auction is going on, and if you go to that auction, you will get things very cheap, and it is only for one night, and you have to go that night and release it. And the way to release it, we have to know what things we should really do, what things we should really ask. We should really know that, inshallah. I think we will focus a bit more on the nights of Qadr from tonight a bit. See, first of all, when we look at the Surah Qadr, it says Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil Qadr. Inna means that we have revealed. Inna, Inna anzalnahu, and we have revealed on that night of Qadr. It is a night that Allah is revealing something very valuable, something very powerful, something very great. It is known as the night of destiny. It is known as the night of destiny. It is known as a night in which our basically future unfolding, what will happen to us, will be recorded on that night. So how vigilant, how careful we should be. It is like someone is writing about us. So we should be watchful what he is writing. We should be careful. We should ask, write this, write that, right? We should be requesting that. So it is that night. So Malik Jawad Agha Tabrizi gets into discussing these important nights. Now, Tawassul to Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, these nights have been mentioned, particularly Tawassul to Imam Zaman. Tawassul to Siddiqa Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. There was a story of a great personality who was a businessman from the city of Shahriyar. He was from the city of Shahriyar in Tehran, and he had a lot of gardens, bagh, in his city. He was a rich person, and he gathered some money and he said, I will go to Imam Rada and I will spend one whole month doing ibadat, in Mashhad. So from Shahriyar he comes to Mashhad with all his belongings, money and everything. So he brought that for the whole month, what he's supposed to have. And in Haram of Imam Rada he's there, and basically in Mashhad he's there. Ibadat, he's going every day, coming down, salat, prayer, du'as and so on and so forth. They stole his money. Whatever he has brought was taken away in Mashhad. Now this man says that he was a well-respectable person who had a lot of commodity and property and whatnot. He says that to Imam Raza, I came here to visit you, and I came here to be with you. I'm your guest for one whole month, and now they have stolen my money. I'm your guest. You have to resolve my problem. I'm not going to go to people here and there, ask for money, give me some money, and then I want to eat. You have to resolve my problem. He goes to Imam Raza, openly mentioned this. And then at the time when he is very hungry, he has no money to eat, no food, he cannot do anything. So he is tired and he speaks to Imam Raza, and then he dozes off a bit. In the Alam Khab, in the dream, he sees Imam Raza. Imam Raza says that, okay, go to the Sahan, to the courtyard of where there is Saqqa Khane, where there is this well. And in this courtyard there is a clock at the door. Go to this Sahan where there is Saqqa Khane, where there is this well of Imam Raza where people drink water from. And under the clock, the door which clock have, under the clock, the first person who comes inside from this door, go to him and ask him for your hajat. This is what you have to do. Imam Raza mentioned him in the dream, so he wakes up. So next morning, at the Fajr time, he goes there, and this is what Imam Raza have said. In the morning, at the time of Sahar, at the time of Fajr, I don't remember exactly Sahar or Fajr, go there, and the first person who comes from this door under the clock, ask him. So he goes there, and there was a person who was known as, I'm forgetting his name, who was known as Bi Namazi. For example, Ja'far Bi Namazi. His name was Ja'far Bi Namazi. His name was Ja'far. He was known for Bi Namazi, a person who does not pray. So he goes and he stays he was known as Ja'far Bi Namazi, masalan. Right. So he goes there in the courtyard, and he says that this Sahar time, this man is coming from this door, who is Ja'far Bi Namazi. He said, this Bi Namazi, a person who does not pray, Ja'far, and I'm not going to go and speak to him and ask for money, for my hajat. He leaves it. He does not go. And then again that day passes, and he becomes more hungry, more in need, more of thirst. He goes to Imam Raza. He says, Imam Raza, I told you that I am here, your guest, and you have to help me. And then while speaking to Imam Raza, he was so tired and hungry and thirsty and weak, he dozes off, he sleeps. In the dream, Imam Raza comes and he says to Imam Raza that, Imam Raza tells him that I asked you to go there in that Sahan, and this person, whoever comes the first, you ask him. I told you didn't do it. Okay, tomorrow you do this again. Tomorrow morning at the time of Sahar or Fajr, you go there, whoever comes under the door of that clock, ask him. He says, okay. So next day, he goes to the Sahan of Imam Raza, of Saqqaqane, and he stands at the door where that clock is, and he says that it comes this person, Ja'far bin Namazi, once again, the same person who is known as bin Namazi, he comes, who doesn't pray. He said, oh my God, now I have no choice. Second dream, Imam Raza said, and I'm in a state that I'm going to die if I don't. So he goes there anyways. So he says that Ja'far, masalan, I have a hajati daram, I have this, Imam Raza told me to, speak to you, and this is what happened, and I'm in need. So he said, okay, here's the money. He gives him, without asking him how much it was that he lost, without asking him how much is needed. So he gives him that. He says, okay, here is for you, And then he was shocked. He takes it. And then he says, Ja'far bin Namazi, when the day you're going back, come to me. Pack up your things, suitcase or whatever. You come to me with your bag. Come to me before you go. He said, okay, fine, I will do that. So he goes there and he lives there in Mashhad, Ziyarat, Ibadat. And then the day comes that he has to go. 1 month, he said, he will be the guest of Imam Raza. So that day comes where he has to leave. The day he has to leave, there is not 1 penny left. Exactly the amount of money which was needed for him to spend in Mashhad, he spent it. Now he's leaving. So as Ja'far bin Namazi, masalan, his name was Ja'far, I'm not forgetting, but I remember the title of him, which was bin Namazi. So I'm using Ja'far. So he goes to Ja'far bin Namazi, he said, because he said it to come to his house before I leave. So he goes with his bag, to him. And he says, Ja'far says, oh, you are leaving, Taqabbal Allah, may Allah accept your ibadat, everything. He says, okay, no problem. Come, come on my back. And then he was said, what do you mean? He said, come, climb on my back. This Ja'far bin Namazi saying, So he climbs on his back. And all of a sudden, he starts seeing the earth moving under the feet. This Ja'far bin Namazi is doing Tahlul Arz, and this man is on his back. And then he stops, and he says, get down. Ja'far bin Namazi says, well, let's have some tea. Why don't you go in this garden, bring some, twigs and wood so that we light up of some fire and we have some tea. So this man, who had from Shahriyar, from that city, from Mashhad, far away. And then he goes there and try to pick up the twigs and wood and here and there. He said, hey, this is my own garden. So he reached his own house, his own bagh, his own garden from Mashhad to Tehran by Tahlul Arz. So anyway, they light up the fire, and then here, they sit to have tea. Then he says, this man says, this business person who has all these baghat and money, he says, Ja'far bin Namazi, tell me 2 things, I have some questions. He says, yes, what is it? He said that, how do you know and who tell you that I need this much money? He says, well, Imam Zaman. Imam Zaman told me, and Imam Zaman told me that Imam Raza told him that there is zawar of his, guest of his, he need this much money. So Imam Zaman gave it to me. And then I gave you exactly what you needed. I brought and gave you what you needed. So Imam Zaman told me that. So whatever tawassul, whoever tawassul we do to, any imam that we do tawassul to, that is given to us through Imam Zaman. So the night of Qadr is the night of tawassul to Imam Zaman. If we are doing ziyarat of Imam Raza and we are asking Imam Raza something, Imam Raza will give, but Imam Raza will give through Imam Zaman. Everything that comes to us, because our Imam is the Imam Zaman, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, right? So Ja'far bin Namazi says that Imam Zaman told me, because Imam Raza told him to give him that. They said, oh Ja'far, why you're known as bin Namazi? You know, somebody who doesn't pray namaz. Why are you known like that? He said, Ja'far says, because I pray Jamaat prayer with Imam Zaman. Nobody sees me. Because I pray my Jamaat, I pray usually with Imam Zaman and nobody really sees me. They say that he's bin Namazi, he doesn't pray. Look, this Ja'far bin Namazi was someone who was the representative of Imam Zaman. And even today, they are Imam Zaman's representative, not known to anybody. These are other than 313. Those 313, they are certain pure, sincere individuals who are representatives of Imam Zaman we don't know, and they come to help us. And Imam Zaman have appointed them in different places of the world. Like that story I mentioned on TV as well long time ago, and I'll mention it in our next program perhaps. Ayatollah Amini, his son in the madrasa, and the khadim, the person who used to work in the madrasa, who used to wash the clothes of the students, go run, bring yogurt and bread for the students, he was in relationship with Imam Zaman. Imam Zaman have appointed him there. So we think that, oh, a person is naib of Imam Zaman means that he is, perhaps a mujtahid, an ayatollah with a libas, white beard or something. No. Imam Zaman looks at the heart of the people. Sincere and pure heart. He buys the pure heart. That's what he needs. He needs pure people who are engrove in the love of Imam Zaman, who wants to see Imam Zaman all the time, who wants to be in the company of Imam Zaman all the time, who is thinking of Imam Zaman all the time. Every morning he wakes up, he gives salams to Imam Zaman. That type of person, everything that is happening, he's thinking of Imam Zaman all the time. Pure, sincere individual, chosen by Imam Zaman and are appointed in different places by Imam Zaman. And this is in the riwayat of Biharul Anwar, that Imam Zaman has his hidden representatives. Nobody knows them. Nobody knows them. And at the same time, once they are recognized, they vanish, they disappear, they go to some other place. This khadim, who was the khadim of that madrasa, one day Imam Zaman comes and tells him that, go to some other place. He all of a sudden vanishes, he disappears. Nobody really recognizes him, where he went, what he did. So therefore, what I was trying to say is that tawassul on the nights of Qadr to the Imam of the Waqt, to the Imam of the time, is very important, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your ibadat and fast. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq that we do the dark of Laylatul Qadr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our marhumeen and increase their daraja. Mahshur them with Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. غفر الله لنا ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.